presented by Peter Kamm from Avaya. Before we begin, I have 3 quick housekeeping items to go over. First, today's webinar will be recorded and available for you on demand. Second, a Q&A session will follow today's presentation. All your questions will need to be entered in that GoToWebinar question window near the bottom of your screen. Today, there will be a short evaluation that pops up as you exit the webinar. Please take a minute to let us know what you thought of today's session and what you might like to see going forward. Let's get started. I'll turn it over to you, Peter.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Paige. And I start the broadcast, and I hope everybody is able to see my screen. Wonderful. So a warm welcome from my side from Munich, Germany, where the Oktoberfest is on. So I'm not on the Wiesn, but instead speaking to you guys, and hope I have an interesting session for you, because I think it is very important and it can really help you take your contact centers to the next level and make your business and your agents more productive. My name is Peter Kamm. I'm a consulting sales engineer with Avaya. I'm supporting one of the largest Avaya customers as a global consultant, and would like to take you today through the details and the possibilities of the workplace client. I would try to compare the workplace client, the current client of Avaya, with a Swiss Army knife. Swiss Army knife because it does so many things. It's not just a single tool. It can be many things to many people. It is a UC client, but on the other hand, it's a customer care and agent application, and this is what we're talking about or focusing on today. It's an application that runs on multiple operating systems, Windows, Android, iOS, Mac, and well, also virtualized in a VDI environment. Whether you run it on a mobile phone, smartphone, on the PC, on the Mac, on the Avaya Vantage phone, or something else, hey, it's up to you. You, the business, the agents should decide where they want to be productive, where they want to use the application, the services. On-prem, in the cloud, on the move, or even out of Microsoft Teams. So the possibilities are manifold, or if not endless. So mobility, desktop controls, single sign-on, voice video calling, conferencing, collaboration, many features, functions are available on this workplace client. Today, I want to focus on the 2 yellow bubbles up on top, so the customer care and the integrations that you can do for the business. Perhaps some basic things or some groundwork things. If you do need help, if you have questions around the workplace client, you can find the documentation either on Avaya support or in documentations.avaya.com. Here, everything is available for you in, well, a very easy format, easy to search and find. And if you need parts of the documentation, you can export it as a PDF. If you want to train your users, the functions are available in tutorial videos. These can be accessed via the documentations page or directly out of the client. So if you want to roll out the workplace client, hey, you can make it easy by giving your users access to the tutorials and, well, make sure they are up and running in no time. Okay, but that was, well, base work, groundwork. So what is the benefit if you move from workplace client, from OneX agent or agent for desktop or even OneX communicator to the Avaya Workplace client, which is a zip application? Let's perhaps start with a use case. The user works as a back office user. At the same time, and while he's working, he's checking on queues with queue stats and view stats. So he's checking on queues and waiting lines for hunt groups and also for the contact center queues. If he realizes, hey, well, too many people waiting, we're almost close to breaching our SLAs, Well, the agent can, or with this user can simply log in from this application, from this UC application as an agent, and all of a sudden he is online and can help support the agents that are already on duty. If the agent needs, this new agent needs to change his skills, needs to focus in on something, well, even this agent can select himself what skills he should support, where he should help, and make sure that the SLAs are again met. And if this user needs to move out of the office because, well, he needs to get home, he has some different appointments, he can even take calls on the go, on the move with his mobile phone. And with this, you already have a lot of options, a lot of functionalities that you do not have on the traditional clients. First, well, you see all this, it's a UC client. It's a full UC client with all the traditional rich feature functionality of Avaya. Well, at the same time, it can be an agent application. You have access to the skills and it works on a mobile device. The big difference between UC and CC is this bar in the middle, underneath the home picture and the dial pad. And here the agent has all the controls for ready, not ready, well, time in a status, and so on. All the other functions that are perfect for UC user, but also will help agents like directories, contacts, grouping of contacts, presence, and so on. All these are also available to the agent whenever he needs it. What we're also offering is a button module where the agent or the user, wherever he is or whatever his role is, he can have the traditional phone buttons also displayed. So if a user is moving from a phone to the workplace client, also very easy for him to start working and becoming productive because everything is as he wants it to be or as it is used to be. And the buttons can be renamed, can be rearranged, and so on as the user wants it. So as you see, very, very flexible. I mentioned the mobile application and, well, Android, iOS, you name it, whatever your customer wants, whatever your users have, well, make them an agent on the go, not just on a PC, not just via VPN or, well, on the Wi-Fi. Well, Android users, iOS users could be agents anywhere, everywhere, wherever they have connectivity. Something that was asked for a lot by my customers on the agent for desktop or even 1X agent, well, to some extent it was available, but most of the time not. Presence, status. So the agents want to see the status of other users, of subject matter experts. The agents want to see the status of their colleagues, of their other agents. A supervisor wants to see the status of his agents, of his team. And the workplace client allows that, and very easily. So what the agent or the supervisor has as an option is, well, what kind of presence should be shown and shared throughout the corporation? Should it be the agent status together with the, well, after aux code or after call work status and so on in the rich presence? Should it be the station presence, so whether he's on the phone or not on the phone, or, well, some customers even want to show not a present status if the agent is active as an agent. But you can decide, and I normally recommend to my customers, hey, show the agent status, because then you have cool functions. Well, add all the agents to a group, and then the agents have, well, a view of all their fellow colleagues if they want to add them into a work item, into a customer call. Supervisors have access and information on what their agents are doing, what the status is, and so on. But presence is not just shown in the contacts, in the contact list, but also, well, in the task icon bar. So here, the user, if he works then on Teams, on a full screen, if he works on a CRM system, full screen, and the workplace client is in the background, the agent can still keep track of his status and what is going on, whether he has missed calls, whether he has an agent status. Well, here it will be displayed. Also something not available on the traditional clients, but always asked for, and very helpful to contact centers. A feature in the workplace client available for a long time, and now to agents, chat messaging. And here, not just a one-to-one, but also one-to-many. So you could have groups like the agent group, and you can send your messages, your questions to all your colleagues, to subject matter experts, to the supervisor. You can put the supervisor into a chat and so on. So you're very, very flexible. You can share screenshots, you can share files and so on. This is a nice thing. And well, the best thing is if you roll out Workplace Client for your corporation, everything is immediately available to your agents. So now that it's a UC and CC client, you only do the work once for the whole corporation, and then your back office users and your front office users have all the rich functionality available that they need for being productive. Of course, it's not just presence, it's not just messaging. Also, well, we have taken the functionality of the traditional clients and added a bit more, whether it's sounds and custom ringtones. You or the agent can decide, well, what ringtones should be sounding. Well, every agent could have a different one. For different situations, you can have a different ringtone, so that, well, not everybody is disturbed if the ringing is on. But you can make sure that, well, whenever your PC is ringing, whenever your device is ringing, that you know what's going on, what is the call. Is it a direct call to your station? Is it a call for you as an agent? Is it an internal and external priority call, and so on. Greetings is also something that has been available for quite some time, and Workplace Client takes it to another level. So not just for every call, not just for VDNs, but now also for any. So, well, you put a criteria in, so the first digits of a number, and then you could have different greetings for specific customers, for specific countries, for specific areas, and so on. Or you could have greetings prepared that an agent can then play back on demand. So like, hey, your call will be recorded, or you name it. Different options, many options that you can now use for your business and make sure that the agents can work as they should, have follow compliance, and have the right announcements, the right corporate identity whenever they need it. Some more UC features that also come in handy with contact centers, so the forwarding stations. So everything what we do on the Workplace Client, we try to make it easy for you, easy for the agent, and well, easy for the user to work and to be productive. Of course, what the Workplace Client also does, it offers all the supervisor functionality, from observe for the agent to request observing, and so on. And it's very easy because, well, observing from a supervisor perspective can be requested out of the contact list, whether it's then a list and grouped contacts where all the agents are in, or, well, where the supervisor searches for an agent in the corporate directory. Well, down to the supervisor, down to the agent, we have all the main functionality in this client. I mentioned view stats. Q stats are also available, so agents know what they're up to, what the contact center needs, well, what the SLAs are. Very helpful for impaired users or for users that are mainly working with shortcuts, because, well, it sometimes makes it faster. Also, agent functionality is available via shortcuts. Okay, so these are some of the functionality that you get as a benefit, as an add-on when you move from the agent for desktop, from the 1x agent to a workplace client. So whether you're on the go, whether you want to work flexibly, whether you want to be, well, in charge of all your calls, in all your skills, whether you want to see what's going on in the contact center, the status of others, and, well, being able to get in contact with them or supervise them, whether you want to share information or whether you want to link it to collaboration applications like, well, Avaya Spaces or Teams and so on. Well, the workplace client is the thing to use. It will help you become more productive, whether you have it as a UC back office user or whether you're using it as a front office application for agents. Okay, but these are traditional functions. These are traditional features. So let's take it to the next level and embed it into the business. So how can you integrate the workplace client with the business? Well, the agent for desktop and also 1x agent had some capabilities already, but the workplace client, again, takes it to another level and gives you more flexibility or more capabilities. Well, perhaps not an integration really, because, well, it uses traditional telephony, but it is something that customers are asking for. I often get the question, hey, can you use the Teams client as a front end or as an application for the agents? And, well, the answer is yes, you can. If you have direct routing, so the SIP trunk installed between the Avaya PABX and Microsoft Teams, then simply use the other phone mode, the other phone capability, and send every incoming call then to the Microsoft Teams application as the end device. The controls still stay on the workplace client. However, the audio path goes to wherever you want it, and here it goes to the Microsoft Teams application. You need direct routing, you need the appropriate Microsoft licenses. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to embed our clients directly into Teams. That is a limitation of Microsoft Teams. So no real-time communication application, so a soft phone to run within Teams. So what we're doing, well, we're using Teams as an application and just controlling it via the workplace client. Okay, so that is traditional telephony. So what is available on top of that? How can I build applications? How can I really do something that is customized, that really takes my business to the next level? And here we have SDKs on the workplace client available. So whether it's Java SDK, whether it's then the SDK for the headsets that partners, customers, or Avaya services uses to deliver use cases, well, it's up to you, it's down to you. So you can take the events that are coming in and have applications running in the background, creating things, doing things, running web services, doing inquiries, or, well, displaying information to the agent. It's available. No additional licenses required. Well, you just take the use case of your business and you make it happen. Well, when I see Java SDK and other SDKs, I quite often think, wow, my programming days are long past. Do I really want to do that? And then what I do, I normally turn to ScreenPop. It has been available for quite some time also on agent for desktop and 1x agent, but the workplace client gives you screenshots and gives you screenshots in many more instances and options than you had before. Why do I say that? Well, screen pops, meaning an event is happening on the application, and then the application sends out a URI, meaning a application call to the operating system, or a URL to a browser, and then opens a web page or opens an application together with information. The information could be the CLI of the caller, the VDN name, the agent ID, or the unique caller ID, could be the time of day, day of week, you name it. UUI could be even an option. So many options could be passed on to an application, or to a web page. In the past, it was always doing ringing events or, well, call events. So when a call came in, when it was ringing, when it was accepted, when it was hung up, or, well, if a call was missed. And then you were able to trigger it for incoming or outgoing calls. What the Workplace client also does, it gives you screen pops on application events. So think of users starting the application in the morning, and immediately a screen opens where the user has to confirm his location of working for emergency calling compliance. If you have, well, a alarming call, it's on a specific VDN or it comes in via a specific number. Well, this alarming VDN will now trigger a specific information for this user. So a page will open with the current information, whether it's a test alarm, whether it's what are the actions that the user is supposed to do. You could have it then on the SIP login. User changes work, so closes down his laptop, moves to a different building, moves from a fixed line to a Wi-Fi connection. And next time the client logs in again and registers, well, again, you could have a screen pop asking for different information, making the user aware that he probably should not make emergency calls while being mobile, and so on. So whatever you want, whatever you need, whatever your compliance of your corporation needs, well, you can make it happen. And not just applications, not just external browsers or dialog boxes, but also internal browser windows. An internal browser window, well, that was available on One Agent and Agent for Desktop, is then an additional window that opens together with a Workplace client. Only with Workplace client, you can have multiple internal windows and they would be tabbed. So cool thing. So whenever a call comes in, you could have multiple different tabs open. So like a tab for the SharePoint information for the VDN, meaning for the topic that the caller was calling in. A different tab for the CRM information that you're screen popping now for this agent, where he gets more information background on the caller, and so on and much more. Cool thing, Workplace client can make you more productive, can help your agents get the information whenever they need it, wherever they are, whatever they need. Of course, screen pop and web pages are, well, HTML code, are web code. So if you're using widgets on cloud contact centers, widgets on Avaya Oceana, etc., even these widgets could be, with a little modification, be used then for the screen pops here with the Workplace client. Of course, a web page needs to be run and stored on a web server. So it's not just a screen pop directly then in the Workplace client. But if you have widgets, they are not just for the Workplace client. They are not just for Oceana. They are not just for Agent for Desktop. Hey, you could use the same widgets for agents everywhere. And this also allows you then to, well, have a sort of a hybrid scenario. Some users in the cloud, some users on-prem, and, well, with Workplace client, you can make sure the same information will help the agents to become and be productive. What else have I done with customers around screen pop and business integrations? So some examples. Outlook calendar entry by call. So very easy. Well, this customer wanted to have a storage, well, wanted to make a reporting of all the calls in Outlook. So everything should be stored as a new event in the calendar, so that, well, if the user then looks at his calendar, he immediately has an overview. What has he done? Where was he on a call? Who was the name? And he could then store and link it to additional information. And with the screen pop, you can make it happen automatically, even, well, using the information like phone number and, well, more information around the body, or start time, etc. for the Outlook calendar event. Similar thing I did for Salesforce for another customer. So opening another event directly with the information from the Workplace client. What I just had last week was a request from a customer that wanted to have all the information of the call displayed on a web page. So here the example before was Outlook. Here you have Salesforce. But as I explained before, Workplace client can send you a lot of information, can use a lot of information within screen pops. So for this customer, what we built was a basic web page that displayed all the information of a call in a detailed information. And what we also embedded was a button to copy the CLI, so that the agent was able to do a sort of manual screen pop or copy the phone number into another application. So the Workplace and the screen pop can be very, very flexible. Just use it with any database, use it with any CRM application. Well, you just take the telephony client, the Workplace client, and send the information to whatever application you have. What you sometimes need for some other applications is perhaps a page in between. So CRM applications like Salesforce or SAP do not allow for a direct search of a CLI. What they normally need is, you put the CLI in, you search for it, you get a customer ID, then you search for the customer ID, and then you get the actual customer information. For those customers, what we normally do is create a special page, the first one that does have a little script running as the screen pop to first do the ID search and then send the ID into another URL that is then displayed to the agent for the final customer information. Now you see Teams in the Workplace client. So Teams now displayed in the internal screen of the Workplace client. Well, I mentioned that you can't run the Workplace client inside Teams. But what you can do, you can run Teams, the browser version of Teams, as a application inside the internal window of the Workplace client. What you have to be aware of course, is it's not the calling, it's only chat, it's only the non-real-time information that you're normally using and displaying on Teams. So that all works fine. The calling, of course, out of Teams does not work in this iframe. But apart from that, it's a cool thing. So agents, while they have a call, while they need information via this internal browser window, via this Teams session that is on, they could get in contact with their subject matter experts, etc., and find the information that they're looking for, that they need for closing the customer interaction. Of course, if you're having a cloud application that integrates into Teams, again, you have the same capability for agents, whether they're in the cloud or they are on-prem on Workplace client. A quite interesting thing and use case that we did for another customer who wanted to have a call history based, on an agent level. So not doing anything on the CRM, on CMS, in the background, in the reporting. They wanted to make sure that every call that is coming in or is made, whether it's then contact center, whether it's office call, etc., that this is stored in a database. And this customer wanted to make reports and dashboards out of Power BI. So what we did here, for example, was we wrote every call and all the information around the call into a CSV file that was in OneDrive. We then uploaded OneDrive automatically to the cloud, and we used an automatic import of Power BI of these batch files, of these CSV files. So, well, it is a poor man's integration, a very easy integration into Power BI, but yes, it's working. For small environments, especially for some dedicated environments, it is a cool option. So you can link on-prem information to the cloud and then run powerful reports with the BI applications, and the screen pop of Workplace Client makes it possible. If you want to do more, if you want to use the APIs of Avaya, well, they are all documented on developers.avayacloud.com and the Avaya Dev Connect pages. So make sure that you look at the developers pages, because there is a wealth of information, whether it's then the client SDK, whether it's APIs of Aura, whether it's APIs of the experience platform. Well, a lot of information is there that will help you build your business case, that will help you, well, get your contact center to the next level and do the integration that your business is asking for. So if you want to do web services requests, if you do want to do posts, GET requests, if you want to do more and something more specific, well, you will have to use the client SDK. You will have to use the more sophisticated APIs, and on the developers pages, you will find then the information to do it. What some customers did, for example, here was posting or sending information to CRM and database solutions, giving agents buttons to start, stop recording. Well, start, stop recording based on different events in the application and so on. I mentioned the contextual help by VDN. So if you use a screen pop and use the VDN information, well, you could have different SharePoints open. You could have different web pages open to the user. You could have contacts, Outlook, calendar. So everything that is on Office 365, well, you can actually screen pop that in an external browser or in an internal browser window. So the agents should not just see the number on the display who is calling and perhaps the VDN. The agents should have immediately all the information available to them. What you also could start is open ChatGPT, open a agent assist application, and well, then give the agent suggested answers and more information that they need to have to be more productive and close inquiries, customer interactions more quickly. If supervisors want some more information about the contact center, what we also did was desktop wallboard, agent statistics, CMS web. Well, we added that and embedded that into the Workplace client as an additional window. Cool. Together with this Workplace client in a single application, it's there. And if you use a tabs view, then you can just, well, view it whenever you need, whenever you want. So, Workplace client. It's a powerful voice application. Yes, it's voice only, but voice is still 80% of the interactions that the external customers want of us. But it's a powerful workplace, it's a powerful application for office, back office, and front office. Whether you want to have users working as a just pure back office or a pure agent, whether you want to have agents part-time, if you want to have users that are jumping in on peak times to just help out whenever there's the time, the Workplace client will be the application of your choice. A single application to roll out, a single application to configure, a single application for mobility. If you want to have additional application or different capabilities to embed the business, applications, data, information in the agent application, the Workplace client will help you with that with application pop, with the internal browser window, or with, well, announcements and much more. The Workplace client is a very powerful application and has a lot of benefits for the business. It saves you cost, gains resiliency because agents can work from anywhere, also on a mobile device, gain agility because, well, they can work whenever you need it, and gain automation with all the SDKs and all the screen pops. IT will gain a lot because they save time only with a single client for the planning, the rollout, and the lifecycle. And with that, they are saving a lot of cost regarding packaging and so on. Helpdesk. Also, resources are saved, a single client, a single application to support, and with the documentation that is online, with all the tutorial videos that are available, that we make available to you, we make it easy for you, for your IT to actually adopt it and roll it out. And of course, for the agents, they only have a single application. And a single application whenever they are a normal user in the corporation. Same application if they are working as agents. Plus, so they have all the great UC functions, plus all the agent applications or agent functions and more. Mobility, contacts, presence, IM, chat, multimedia messaging, all is there for the agents to use. The Avaya Workplace client. It's a powerful voice application, but it's not just a soft phone. It's not just a phone. It is much more. It can be integrated into the business. It can be the business application that will help your agents, your contact center, your corporation excel and be more productive and be more successful. Questions? I see. Can Workplace be used as a client for Avaya POM? Very good question. Unfortunately, no. So it doesn't have the controls for POM. If you want to have the pre-information display, or if the agent should be able to control the outgoing calls. If you use POM in a way so that the agent just gets the call without an interface, then if you run such campaigns, then yes, it could be then used. Link to the tutorials in the chat. Yes, I will do that. Apart from that, well, the Workplace client offers the tutorials, the video tutorials, in an icon on the application, and also under the settings, under the support tab of the application, but I will put it here in the chat. The videos are not on the Avaya Mentor channel. They are actually on Avaya University, but they have deep links, so you can have separate videos delivered or linked or sent to your users, to your agents, so that they do not get the overall page, but only specific videos that they would be watching. Yes, of course, you can prevent an agent from modifying the skills. It should only be available to the more sophisticated, the more senior agents. The supervisor can configure what functions are available in the settings to a user which are not. So also a thing in the Workplace client, you can make settings visible and available to an agent or user or not. So this is very, very nice, very sophisticated. Can it be configured to send the call over the PSTN? And I don't understand that. If you turn a UC-only user to an agent, will their workplace client need an update, or does the admin just activate the functionality and then the ACD bar shows up? Yes, this is exactly it. You only have to enable this user to be an agent, and then the agent logs in or starts his service time, and by clicking on this checkbox in the settings, the agent bar will appear. So no change, no different application, no reinstall. Can it show agents that aren't logged in, or if none are logged in? Well, with QStats or ViewStats, you know how many agents are in the queue, or you can display information. In the presence, or if you display the presence of your agents, yes, you could then show if agents are available or not, or what the status of your agents are. Otherwise, you would have to use a real-time reporting like desktop wallboard. Of course, desktop wallboard, you could also then show it in an external or the internal browser window. When will Workplace for Mac support agent features? Very good question. I know it's on the considerations list, but I had not seen a committed date. The next release, 3.35, unfortunately does not yet have it. So as a little caveat, yeah, well, the agent functionality is available on Windows, on the mobile devices, but not yet on Mac. Is there a centralized configuration tool for large call centers and large groups of agents? Well, the configuration of the Workplace client is done via AADS. And of course, in AADS, you can make all the settings and configurations of what you want to show, what you don't want to show, and so on. And there are some additional tools available, like a configurator to create the screen pop commands for the Workplace client. The URLs for the screen pop are included in this deck and are also available on the documentations page around screen pop. But well, AADS is normally the way to make centralized configurations for large, well, for the corporation as a whole, for large contact centers and large groups. You just then do some structuring of your AADS configurations file. Can this client be used with Avaya's AXP or cloud-based ACD systems? If not, what is that client? Also a very good question. So by default, the Workplace client is a client that is used on CC Elite for agents, so Aura and CC Elite, or it could be used for IP Office as a back office application. So for CC Elite, well, Workplace client is your application. If you're considering the AXP Connect, so the new hybrid offering that Avaya is in the process of launching, where you then have different capabilities out of the cloud, out of the AXP platform, and then still keep the routing in CC Elite, well, then you can use the cloud client and you can use Workplace client and can decide. If you have a pure AXP, if you have a pure cloud application, unfortunately, the Workplace client cannot be used. The Workplace client registers on Aura, on CC Elite, and AXP uses a different application. Avaya Experience Platform, as any or most cloud solutions, use a web-based client application, which we call workspaces. What you could, of course, have is then widgets that you use in workspaces. You could use a similar concept, similar information, then also for screen pops. Slides, I guess they are made available. Any guides or material for configuring it for call center agents and supervisors? Well, the documentations pages of Avaya does give you a lot of hints and tips and information. Best practices, there is some material available, but I would have to check for the URLs. And well, please talk to your Avaya representative or partner, and then they will be able to provide you with the information. Okay, any other questions? Well, then I will hand back over to you, Paige.
Wonderful. Thank you, Peter, for taking the time to speak to us. Please be sure to check out this recording in our on-demand library at iuug.org by the end of the day under the Events and Education tab. Also, be sure to check out our upcoming webinars happening this fall. From all of us at IUG, thank you and have a great rest of your day.